And we are live. All right, everybody out there in Scotch land, YouTube land. I'm Scott with the Scotch Test Dummies. Bart has not joined us yet from that epic Super Bowl game that just ended. Live with us tonight is Rob. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Rob?
Hey, everybody. I'm Rob from Whiskey in the Six in Toronto. Scott invited me to join tonight for a whiskey review on Glengoyne 25-year-old.
Glenn, and the reason is we had, or you did a review of Glengoyne, about a month ago, maybe?
Yeah, about that.
And me and Bart had Reverend Christopher Toma, an Angel's Portion, was on our show, one of the first live streams that we did. And he then, after the show, he sent us samples of Glengoyne 25 and the Glenfiddich 25. So we'd been in touch with Rob here, Whiskey in the Six, for doing a live stream. And when he did the Glengoyne 25, I thought perfect chance for us to do our samples of the Glengoyne 25. We can hook up with Rob and bring you guys in with us.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much again for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, we are in Kansas. Rob, you are?
Technically I'm in Woodbridge, Ontario, which is basically 5 minutes outside of the Greater Toronto area.
And you've been there your whole life?
I grew up in Toronto, Rexdale specifically, but I moved to Woodbridge when I got married, and I've been here for the last 6 years.
Now, what got you into the world of whiskey and doing reviews?
So I really liked Canadian whiskey for a very long time. I collected Canadian whiskey mostly my early 20s. I'm 32 now, so that's about 10 years ago. Had a great collection. I used to buy 2 of each, one to drink, one to collect, and started drinking Scotch, and I couldn't look at Canadian whiskey the same way anymore, so I decided to trade in most of my collection and buy nice bottles of Scotch. And it's because Scotch is so expensive, way too expensive to collect. At the time when I was like 25, 26, I decided to, start recording at some point. So the videos that I started with were some of my better whiskeys, just because it took me a while to gain the courage to actually do it. But I decided to do it probably about a year ago now. So.
And how many videos reviews have you done?
I have about 98 videos.
Oh, really?
Not all of them are reviews, but I would say probably about 90 reviews and 7 informational type videos. 7 or 8, sorry.
Okay. Now, and then, so you've still got some of your bottle left? This is the Glengoyne 25. It's bottled at 48%.
Yeah. It's no added color. Bottled, like Scott said, at 48%. This one probably goes for about 400 American, I would think. I'm not sure what it goes for where you're at right now.
We haven't seen it, and we don't have the Glengoyne in our area at all. And guys, I'll have a hard time tracking the comments. I know we got a lot of people commenting already. Talking with Rob and tracking the comments will be near impossible to do until Bart joins us. I'll try to be patient with me, though. Let's recap that real quick, though. The Falcons were up 28-3 at one point, and I thought this game will be over for sure. The live stream will be a go at 9:30. And then it looks like if the Patriots get 2 touchdowns and 2 extra point conversions, the game could be tied. I'm like, there's no way that's going to happen. It happens. The game is tied up. We go into the first Super Bowl with overtime, and we're delaying the live stream. So we did get a little bit of a late start. We apologize, but I think most people were probably, if we had started the live stream, I don't think anybody would have been here joining us just yet.
Yeah, I think most people were glued to the TV until now anyway. So but you can't count Brady out. He's a beast. So.
Yes. Yes. How many more years does he have left? Barto! There's Bart. Bart, we're live. We are going. We are already live.
Good.
We decided.
You're like throwing cold water on this best Super Bowl game of all time.
It was over, dude. It was over.
It ain't over. I need to experience it. I need to see Stranahan bring down the trophy. I got to experience it, brother.
Stranahan?
Yeah, see, you weren't watching, were you?
Who's Stranahan?
You weren't even watching.
No, because we had a live stream.
Strahan.
You said Stranahan.
You're drunk.
Hey, Bart, we got
rooting for Bart.
You know, I was actually I wanted to see Atlanta win their first game, but that was such a comeback. You talk about a reset at halftime. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, I was telling Rob right before you got on. I thought they were up. Atlanta's up 28-3. There's no way this game's going to be over quick and early. Our live stream is a go, and next thing you know, it's tied up and it's going into overtime.
Yeah, unbelievable. And then when they won that coin toss with the heads flip, I'm like, that's it. It's over. They haven't been able to stop them all half. They're not going to stop them now.
Bart, we got the Glengoyne 25-year-old. What are we going to do?
Well, what you guys are going to do is you're going to test it. But I'm going to be testing some Corsair Triple Smoke, baby, because I drank my Glengoyne 25. I consumed it maybe 3 weeks ago.
What?
It was good. I had music on, probably some Lumineers out of Colorado. Boom. Now, it's good to meet you, Whiskey. Whiskey in the Six. Now, where'd you come up with the name? I got to know.
So, Drake recently, well, not recently, but he named Toronto the Six. Some people think it's because the area code is 416. Other people think it's because of Toronto. Whatever it is, it's known as the Six now, especially to Raptor fans. So I figured, why not go with something trendy and call it Whiskey in the Six?
Sounds good. Now, see, when Scott and I were in the military, cover my six has a whole nother connotation. So, yeah, the first time I saw your title, I'm thinking, man, there were a lot of times I was going into something. I'd be like, watch my six, cover my six. I'm like, he's got Whiskey in the Six. What's going on over there?
You just yelled that out the other day when we were shooting reviews, and you said you had to go to the bathroom or something.
Oh, goodness. No, so that's good. You've explained it. You've explained it perfectly. You got a phenomenal connection going on here too.
Yeah, he's talking to you, Rob. He thinks you got a good. What's that?
I was gonna say, whenever you speak now, Scott, it kind of is a little bit choppy for me. I don't know if you guys are picking me up clearly.
I think when it's switching to you, it's just probably has a little bit of lag till it catches up. So I think you're coming across a little bit choppy to me just when you start talking. So it might just be yours is getting caught up with it, maybe I'm getting caught up with it as well.
Well, both of you guys got great cameras because you're both coming in really sharp.
Yeah, so are you.
Wow, I had it all fired up there for a second. You wound her down there with the bathroom talk. So tell us some more. You were even garbed out. See the sweater shirt you got on looks like Canadian military. What is that?
This is just a sweater from a local store.
Wow, it's very impressive. We see nothing like that down here. So what part have I missed? Catch me up here. While I had to go for something with some Triple Smoke out of Nashville.
Not much. We just started at 9:45, so about 10 minutes ago. Rob's coming to us from the kind of by Ontario. He's done, I think you said about 98 reviews now. You started with your love of Canadian whiskey kind of drew you into Scotch as well.
That's right. Yeah. I basically had a whole bunch of bottles after my Canadian whiskey collection. Wanted to document. Mainly, I started the channel because liquor store buying something for $150, coming home opening it, and it sucks. So I wanted that to not happen to other people. So I decided to do the channel and hopefully help out a few guys.
Hey, Bart, Malted in Montreal says you're full of beer and chicken wings.
Wow. Wow, this Corsair Triple Smoke is what I just got hit with. Holy moly, that is powerful stuff there.
Now, what happened, though, because you were going to go with the Glenfiddich 25 year.
Oh, that's still sitting over there, but I saw this, and after that Super Bowl turnaround, I thought I'm bringing out Corsair at 64.45 ABV, baby, because that's where I'm at.
And that's courtesy of who? Do you remember who sent us that one?
Yeah, this one's Beaver, baby. This is in our big old draft. We did a whiskey draft on a live show, and that's why I was like, you know what? The Beaver's coming out on this one. I'm bringing out the Beaver.
Well, it's perfect. It's fitting for having a Canadian on your show because we're known to be associated with beavers.
You bet. A lot of fur trading going on up there in the frontier in the day.
We got a little wild with the comments on the last stream with Tomatin about teabag, so we're gonna let's leave the beaver talk alone.
Teabag.
Yeah, well, let's come back to.
I'm gonna pull up the headphones. I'm kind of
okay.
Because I think I'm like missing some of what you.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that'll probably give you a little bit better audio anyway.
Yeah. Sounds.
Yeah. As far as we talking about teabag, and he means him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prior to that show, I was the one that said inappropriate comments at bad times, and then he took over.
I think if we go watch Bart, you also utter teabag at one point, so it's not just me.
Really? Wow.
I'm pretty sure Big Scott instigated most of that. So
exactly, that's what I thought too.
Yes, he had a look. I think I was talking about like an actual tea bag. I didn't know the trick about leaving in for 5 seconds.
Now let's see. We do have Whiskey Whistle has joined us tonight, and if you notice, I don't have any bottles sitting on the edge of my desk here. They're all safely put away at the back.
Poor Mark. You will not replace that bottle.
Oh, no. This is strong. Just for backup, I brought in some Epicurean, which we just featured in our last show with Cousin Shane, which is a little bit of a lighter lowland dram. Because I'm going to need to add some water to that high ABV I got kicking over on this other one. And I didn't bring my water with me.
Hey, one comment real quick, and then let's get started on the Glengoyne 25. And mine's been getting some air for probably at least 20 minutes now. But Jesse Voisin wants to know if we saw the Taco Bell commercial for the new Chalupa Cabra.
Huh.
I heard it. I was sitting there. I was on the computer, game on in the background, and all of a sudden I heard Chalupa. What I thought was Chupacabra. So I just caught the end of the commercial.
That is funny. I did not see the name of it. That must have been like the deep fried taco shell with the cream cheese in the middle. All I saw was like, yeah, that's what I didn't even catch the name of it. It just looked like death is what it looked.
I don't think we get the same commercials you guys get.
Oh,
no, probably not. No, that's true.
Well, yeah, I did miss it. We've got a whole Chupacabra thing going on because my wife's Puerto Rican, and we had a bunch of her brothers over here, and I brought up Chupacabra once, and it brought the party to a standstill. It's a mythical beast that comes down and sucks like blood from goats, and I was mocking it, and apparently that was frowned upon. I was bringing down the bad luck of the chupacabra. So I don't think they watch this show. They pretty much don't know what to think of me. The brothers are all like hard-working, like men, and are shocked. Like when they're like, "You pay someone to fix your big lawnmower?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's right. That's what I do." They expect me to like turtle up. Yeah, I'll be like, "Yeah,
I pay someone for just about anything."
Yeah, I told them I'm drinking whiskey on a show. I got to pay somebody to do the hard work around here, and then they don't know what to do. Sorry. Yeah, that's what goes on. And then I say chupacabra, and they're all like, KSA, why is he saying chupacabra? I'm like, I don't know.
All right, let's move on with the Glengoyne 25, Rob. A great woody richness and almost a brown sugar on the nose.
Yeah, I picked that up for sure. I would say Canadian roots. I'm going to say there's a little bit of maple syrup in this one as well.
All right.
Okay, yeah, along with the brown sugar. Sugar, brown sugar. You know, the clumpy stuff, Bart.
Yeah, when I was a small lad, I used to put that in my grandfather's oatmeal. Good stuff. Good stuff. You think Joanne McGinnis has even joined us yet, or is she still basking in the Patriots' turnaround?
I'm sure she's watching the post-game celebration.
That's right. Shag and Heavy D right now, they're just probably passed out on the floor. And
North Shore Whiskey Club, yeah.
Yeah, North Shore Whiskey Club, they're just like, what happened? I mean, they were all sad, and then boom, and then they're the fifth and redemption. You missed all the booze for what is it, Goodell? Is that how you say his name, pronouncer?
Roger Goodell? Yes,
Yeah.
you were correct, Bart.
He was booed pretty much off the stage when he was given the Lombardi Trophy to Kraft. So
that must have stung for him to have to hand over that trophy.
I think it did. My wife was like, "What's going on?" I mean, it was like you couldn't even hear him. They were booing him. I'm like, "They're booing him." She was like, "Wow." So then I had to give her a little history, and then my 9-year-old fell asleep. So before I was allowed to come down and do my whiskey gig, I had to tuck in and carry children around. So,
yeah, I hate it when family gets in the way of the whiskey.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I grabbed a couple bottles of whiskey and said, "Take care of the family and the children." I got hit over the head, and I circled back and took care of business. See, I can't believe that happened. Now, you've got quite a collection. I see you got a Van Winkle behind you there?
Van Winkle 12 Lot B right here.
All right.
Something you guys are probably not too familiar with in the south, or well, south of me anyway. Blanton's Gold. I think this is.
I've seen the Blantons. Yeah, not the gold. I've not seen the gold. How's the gold different?
Well, it's just, I guess, a little bit older than the other ones. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure. I haven't done my research. It was released yesterday in Ontario. So I managed to get to a store in time to pick one up. It was sold out pretty quick.
Oh, wow, great. So you just grabbed that. Now, what's the silver gloved bottle behind you there? That looks intriguing.
Oh, this is just a boxing glove.
Oh, okay. I was thinking, like, what kind of bottle is that worked into there? I was like, that's impressive. Did you used to box?
I teach Thai boxing in Woodbridge at M1 Thai Boxing. So, yeah.
Very cool.
I have a few bottles over here, actually. I have the Black Art. I know you guys reviewed this one.
Yeah, which one is that?
This is the 4.1.
Okay, you bet.
Yeah. And I got the... Yeah, Marcosola.
Look out, man.
I'm embracing my inner Mark by dropping my phone.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
All right.
All right, we got my comment feed had gotten hung up there a ways, and then all of a sudden it started updating. There was a bunch of comments coming in that I didn't see till now.
Yeah, you got a little feedback on your mic when you touched it there, Scott. There you go. just settled down.
Okay. Back to the Glengoyne, the great heavy richness, the oak, and some people were pointing out a sherry or a prune note as well. And yeah, that's in there. It's definitely a dark smell to it. And someone had pointed out the color of it, and it is. Rob, do you know? Does it indicate color added?
It's natural color. It's says it right here on the box and on the bottle as well. Pick it up on the camera.
Yep, it says natural color. Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't say anywhere that it's unchill filtered, but once you try it, I think you might feel like it may be. I don't know. I feel like it's unchill filtered, but I'll let you be the judge.
Well, and that's where I need some experience, and I've called out, and we should have talked to Scott with Tomatin, Bart. I want a 2-pack of maybe 375 milliliter bottles, but I want, say a 12-year-old non-chill filtered whiskey, and then the exact same whiskey that's been chill filtered side by side to taste them to see what the difference is.
Supposed to be a little more oily because those oils and some of the tannins are left in there. They're left intact. I can tell you when I was with Whiskey Raj in Pittsburgh up at Acacia, and he popped open his briefcase, and he had, I believe it was the Black Adder that still had some of the charcoal in it. It was just like strained through a metal mesh. It was the least amount of filtration possible. And he's telling me, hey, don't worry about the charcoal floating around in your whiskey. You won't even taste it. And I was like, wow. And so he explained a little bit of that there. It's a little bit thicker on the mouthfeel, or at least that one sample I had was. But I'm with you. I would love to have them right next to each other to actually pick up the lightness. The triple distillation, like in Ireland, gives you a very, very light, easy sipping drinking whiskey, where supposedly non-chill filtered's a little bit more oily maybe, or thicker, or at least have a little more of those tannins.
Yeah. I think that when they bring it down to that cold temperature, they're able to remove the thicker parts of the whiskey a little easier. The whole chill filtration it's smart. They do it for the mass market because a ton about whiskey are afraid when they see little particles floating around in their whiskey. They think it went bad or something like that.
Yeah, or the first time they put a little water in.
The Irish, the Redbreast 12-year-old, you could probably do what Scott's asking with a 12-year-old bottled at 40%, and then the cast strength 12-year-old, because it's probably the same juice, but one's unchill filtered. So maybe you add a little bit of water to the cast strength, and then you get your unchill filtered versus chill filtered.
Yeah, because it'll cloud up a little bit too when it's unchill filtered, and a lot of people think that means the whiskey. I mean, like you said, a lot of people that are buying mass market think, oh, the whiskey's cloudy. That's not good. Exactly. But yeah, that's great actually. So
yeah.
Real quick, I had to pull this up and let it play to find our picture. Mark, Whiskey Whistle. And we touched on this earlier. You were reviewing the Kilkerran, and you knocked the bottle off of your shelf and it broke.
Oh.
Bart did that with a bottle of Cragganmore in my driveway. Sealed. Now, this was a recreation I did for Bart after I dug the bottle out of the trash. After he dropped it in my driveway, it was sealed, never even got to drink it or a drink of it. Boom, and it smelled really good.
Yeah.
Which bottle was that?
Oh, it's a bottle of Cragganmore. It was about 95 degrees out that day, and it went up in a whiff. It was the strongest grain Scotch, beautiful smell, and it was gone. It was like a massive nosing.
Bart was standing there in shock.
Sorry?
Do what, Rob?
I've yet to have a casualty so far. Knock on wood. Let's hope it stays out.
There you go.
Yeah, I made the mistake of I was carrying that bottle out one-handed, and I was cradling some cheap 6-pack micro brew bottle set of beer, and the box just kind of collapsed in my hand, and boom, and down it went, and made that sickening pop noise. And I was like, no, no. I love
Tragic.
Okay, so the Glengoyne 25, back to it real quick. On the palate, neat, and it's 48%. Great sherry flavors coming through. I do get a little bit of a sour wood with it. Like this was about as long as it could spend in the barrel.
I will say it changes. I like you guys said, I did the review on this just over a month ago. Being open for that time, so once given the chance to, it's actually improved, in my honest opinion. Tasting more like a Glengoyne, less like the cask it came from, in my opinion.
Okay. It's still not bad. I would still buy it. And some people have pointed out, like you said, it's around $400. Somebody on here had pointed out they thought they saw it somewhere for $250.
Wow.
Which I would buy it for $250. $400, I don't know.
Yeah, no, at $250, it's a steal. I was lucky enough to get this bottle from a friend. Well, we became friends through the channel. Alberta, his name is Chris, really super nice guy. He sent this to me, so I was lucky enough to get it for free.
Wow, that's a good friend.
Yeah, really, really nice guy. Yeah.
Now, have you been over to Scotland, Rob? Have you traveled over and toured any distilleries or anything?
Just local distilleries in Ontario, nothing outside of Ontario.
Gotcha. Now, Scott, you touched the mic again and it'll get a little bit of reverb.
Yeah, I was just muting it off when I was not talking or when I was typing on the keyboard. A couple of people have pointed out it's $250 on Masters of Malt.
Now,
is that pounds or is that US dollars?
Well, someone says dollars and someone says pounds. So I'm getting both. The Whiskey Exchange has it for $305 shipped to the US. So,
wow. Now, Rob, have you had the stock and barrel single malt?
I have. I have reviews on all three of the single malt, the rye, and the 100% corn. They're really good. They're still young. They need their time to age, but they have something going for sure.
Yeah, we were real impressed when we had the their single malt. Was it the cast strength one we had, Scott?
Yes, we did have the cast strength standard single malt. Single malt, stock and barrel single malt.
Cast strength?
Yeah,
it was like a 60, either 60 or 68%, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah, it was super high.
Yeah, I had the 46%. I haven't had the cast strength just yet. It's about a 40-minute drive. I need to make my way over to the Stillwater's distillery from my house.
Now, what's your thoughts, Rob, on the non-cask strength one?
I haven't had the cast strength one just
yet. Yeah, but what's your thoughts on the standard? Would you say 46%er?
Oh, I liked it. I think I gave it an A- or a B+. I can't remember exactly, but it was really good. $70 Canadian here. So I think it's about 4 or 5 years old. So for a 4 or 5 year old whiskey, I think that's a little high, but it's because there's such a small distillery. It's costing them a lot to pump out their juice, right? So.
Now, what about the stock and barrel rye? Have you had any of that? We've been hearing good things about it.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
The stock and barrel rye. Have you had it? Am I coming through?
For some reason, it's really choppy. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to plug these back in. I don't know if that's going to make a difference, but.
Okay.
I think you said he had the rye, the corn, and the single malt.
Hopefully I don't tip over my phone again.
Oh, yeah. I think there's like a 3-pack with those in it. Someone had shown. Are you there? Do you got me?
Repeat that, sir.
I was asking you about the Stock and Barrel Rye, what you thought of it. We'd heard good things about it.
The rye is really good. Very single malt, but at the same time, it would be hard to notice a big difference between the two. It's kind of strange when they're that young. They're hard to identify, but I would say the rye is a bit spicier. The barley comes in a bit sweeter.
Now, what's your thoughts on ryes in general? We've been doing quite a few, and we're going to have a rye shootout coming up. What's your thoughts on rye, or what other ryes have you tried, or do you like them?
Are you talking like straight ryes or like?
Yeah.
Because Canadian whiskey is that's what I think. Why I'm confused is because a lot of Canadians refer to Canadian whiskey as rye in general. So I haven't had too many of them. I've had the Alberta Premium 30-year-old. That's a straight rye. That's 100% rye whiskey. I've had the Canadian Club 100% rye whiskey. That's really good. I really like them. I prefer barley whiskeys, to be honest with you, but rye.
I just about knocked my glass off. I did spill a drop, and since I spilled a drop, I'm gonna do the good nosing here.
There you go.
And I get whiskey.
Very good. Yeah, I thought you had a full dump there.
No, close. Hey, Bart, where'd it go? Somebody was asking what were your thoughts were on the Corsair Triple Smoke. Oh, Stephen Connor, here it is. Needs to hear more about the Corsair Triple Smoke. I'm about 3 miles from those guys. Need to represent.
Need to represent. When you were, I muted myself and I did the whole pop out of the text thing. I am switching back and forth because it is so strong. Give that 5 minutes and I will come back. I'm finishing up a little of the Epicurean from Douglas Lang. Hey, we got Dan E in there. Scott, he says equals spaz. I agree, Dan. Way to go, Danny boy.
Now look at Claire's comment, right? Two up from that one, or 3 up from that one, Bart. That's not even right, Claire.
Yeah, that is true, though. We've been tagging that rye shootout as like right around the corner for about 2 months, and we have yet to deliver.
Claire is pointing out that we're having a rye shootout coming up, which we say every month for the past year.
Right, so make sure you subscribe or you could miss it.
It sounds like a challenge, Claire.
Yep, Claire's laughing.
I did add a little bit of water. It definitely brought down the alcohol burn that was present.
Yeah, I think that's what surprised me the most. Being 25 years old at 48%, you would think that it should be a little less hot, but for whatever reason, it comes in a little strong.
Now we got Triple Caps joined in, and he's also busting our chops here, saying it's been more than 2 months, just to throw that out.
I'd like to point out that it takes a lot of planning. There's a lot of planning involved in putting 16 whiskeys together.
Yeah, 16 whiskey shootout. You can't just do that on the fly.
Jerry's got a bug out. Thanks for joining us. Jerry says the flu bug has caught up with him. Adventures in Whiskey for all 3 of us. Bobby, he's asking, guys, what was your favorite overall whiskey of 2016? My favorite overall whiskey. Anybody? Rob, does yours just pop right into your head?
Yeah, I had I did a whiskey of the year on it actually. It was the Glengoyne 18-year-old Allardyce. That was by far my favorite whiskey of the year.
Good one. That's probably a good pick. We've had the 12 and the 15, but not the 18.
Ardbeg Dark Cove Committee release, baby. We tried that 2016, blew my socks off, and I was lucky enough to have a friend that was able to at least tell me where I can go get a bottle.
Octomore 6.3 is probably mine. That just blew me away. So did the Ardbeg Dark Cove. That's a good call as well.
I'm with you. Yeah, those are like two sides of a coin there.
Yeah.
That was good stuff. Those were blessings when they showed up. Both of them came to us as samples originally too.
Yes, from Triple Cap.
I think
Yeah.
just about a month and a bit away from 2016, and I think I've already changed my favorite whiskey that I've reviewed probably twice. I think there's some really good ones that I have on my desk over here that I'm really enjoying. So it'll be interesting.
You're talking about for 2017. You've already had a couple that have jumped up there.
Yeah, I would say that it might have even passed. Well, for sure passed the Glendronach 18-year-old, and that's no easy feat because that's a great whiskey, but really nice whiskey this month.
Wow. Very cool.
Stephen Connor has commented again, Bart. He says, thumbs up to Bart. Got 2 bottles of the Dark Cove committee release in the cabinet. Favorite of 2016.
Yes, that's right. Anytime you can give me 2 thumbs up, I'm all over that.
Frank Lampard liked the Dalmore King Alexander, which was in my top 5. But man, when you try that, either that Ardbeg Dark Cove or that Octomore 6.3, it's pales in comparison, even being a sherry beast.
Have you guys had an opportunity to try the 1999 Lagavulin Distillers Edition yet?
No.
Nope.
It's fantastic. You guys will love it. It's pretty heavily peated, but it's double matured in PX sherry casks. It's fantastic.
That's the only one we haven't that's come out recently that we haven't tried yet.
A couple comments real quick. Haw Speed Haw liked the Balvenie 17-year double wood. That was his favorite. Eric Biggie Gilbert liked the Tomatin 2003 single barrel at 57.4%. Adventures in Whiskey liked the Lagavulin 25.
All right, I'm in nosing this Cavalon cast strength triple smoke. I'm in my squeaky chair, which Scott hates.
Yeah, you need to get rid of that thing.
Negative. Just because you need plastic and foam, I got wood, baby. It's all wood, and it's just for you.
Funny, because I haven't heard Rob's chair squeaking and creaking and everything else either.
This chair is as old as me, so as I creak, so goes the chair, baby.
My chair does its share of squeaking as well. I'm trying to not move too much.
So I'll get into it, baby. I start moving around, and then like for weeks, I'm hearing from Scott, God, all I hear is your chair. I'm like, how many times you watched the live show, dude? Like 6 times? Yeah, your chair drives me crazy. I'm like, my God. I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't snuck in the house, removed the chair, and like bought a $500 chair and said, there you go, modern technology. Don't do that, by the way. I like this chair. It fits the curvature.
Yeah, I was gonna do some research right quick. Daydreaming commented he drank the Elijah Craig barrel proof during the Super Bowl, and basically he needed CPR. Someone up above. Oh, here it is. Jesse Voisin got a new bottling of the 2017 Elijah Craig barrel proof. I found that just the other day. It was Thursday or Friday. I found that, Jesse. It's bottled at 68%.
Ooh.
I did retweet somebody else that already had their review up of it, and they thought it was one of the better batches of the Elijah Craig barrel proof.
Really?
Let me see. Yeah.
Dan E says it's not the chair, it's the Puerto Rican food. Way to go, Dan. Now I'm nosing in on this Corsair from Nashville. I'm going to be there later this year. And I get a little bit of cherry. I get a rich, almost rind from the cherry, and maybe almost what I'm saying is a touch of mesquite, but it's not like that Texas mesquite that we had on what was that one called? Scott. Remember that?
That's the brimstone.
Right. It's not the brimstone. Maybe a slight medicinalness in here, almost like it's a cherry cough syrup. And then I get a lot of dark fruits and warm spices, almost like a little bit of if it was almost like a Halloween cider, like a spiked apple cider, which is interesting. The color is really dark. It's got a redness to it, almost like just like a reddish oak. And then go ahead and I'm going to sip, and then I'll come back because this is a punch in the face.
I'm going to touch on the Glengoyne just a little bit again with a little bit of water and time. It really has smoothed out. It's really a sherry explosion, I guess I would say. A lot of good oak. And that if $300 a bottle, I would be looking for it.
Yeah, with the water, it gets a little more buttery, I find. And I find there's a little bit of a cola note. I don't know if you're picking that up as well. Maybe I'm getting a bit of a cola note.
Yeah, it's delicious. I like it.
Yeah, it's really, yeah. I believe I give this, well, I won't spoil your mark, so.
Well, I usually hate to pour just on a sample because I usually like to have a 2 or 3, maybe 4 drams of something before I give it a score. But this is low 90s for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe up to a 93.
Wow, really? That's high praise for you, brother.
91, 92 for sure.
How would you compare it to the Macallan edition #2?
Oh no, this is much richer. You can tell the age in this is much better. Now the Macallan edition #2, and we've had a couple comments come in about it, and I've been surprised about how many people really liked it and put it up in their top whiskeys of 2016, because I did too. I think I had it #3 in my list for 2016.
Yeah, I find the Macallan's a little easier drinking than this one. I find that this one needs its time and needs a little bit of water. Whereas the Macallan is also bottled at 48%, but for probably a younger whiskey, it's a little smoother in my opinion. I know a lot of Scotch guys hate that word smooth, but I find it a little smoother.
I've seen Beaver come in and say that just let everybody know I was drinking Cask Strength Triple Smoke from Corsair. The flavor, again, it's this Cask Strength at 64.45%, extremely rich and powerful. Once I took little sips in, I get that tingle right on the side of the cheeks, and then the tongue immediately starts to warm up from that alcohol when it comes in. I get a little bit of either a little bit of a cola nut that's in there, maybe even a slight hint of and I don't mean on the sugary side, but those old root beer candy barrels that I would get as a kid. But it's not an overbearing, it's just like a slight touch. And then there's some other, what I think are darker fruits that are layered in here. I'm going to have to get more of this. Yeah, I'm going to have to get more of this. I'll be in Nashville, I think, sometime. I think Dan knows when it is, sometime in September. Wow. I will be picking this up. It's definitely got some cola and some of that root beer. And it's just very rich and thick and strong. Goodness gracious.
So, what would you guys say is your unicorn whiskey? And by unicorn, I mean like the untouchable, the whiskey that you've been dreaming of having. What's that whiskey for you? I passed on the Van Winkle 12 this year because even my liquor store I thought wanted too much for it. And that was at $169. Yeah, it's a Van Winkle. Yeah, it's a unicorn. It's a 12-year bourbon. Okay. And I don't think it stands that much. It's good. I've had better bourbons for a lot less money.
I got 2 editions of the BTAC this year. I got the George Stagg and the Thomas H. Handy, and I haven't cracked the Handy yet. We will at some point. When I find, I've had a couple bottles of the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. When I find it, I always pick a bottle up. Now, and my thoughts also, I'm not going to stand in line for anything. If I come upon a bottle, great. I mean, there's so much out there that's already good, that's on the shelf. So Bart, what's your take?
Had we not been able to get a hold of that Ardbeg Dark Cove committee release, when I had that, I thought, holy moly. And then everybody in the comments, you can't get the committee release. We want to do a versus between the regular release and the committee release just to see how much head and shoulders above is it. The Dark Cove would have been that white whale, but, we were each able to get a bottle of that. Now, Scott keeps saying I've got to open mine first, and I'll be honest with you, I probably will. We're going to do a full review of that sometime in 2017. It deserves its own show, quite honestly. As far as probably the things I want to try the most that I can't get a hold of, not at an epic status, but I really need to get to Brooklady and Tomatin to buy some things that you can only buy when you're at the distillery. And we're looking at hopefully going in 2018. And I believe that once we're there, we're going to find some stuff. I tried to get a hold of the Brooklady Port Charlotte Scottish barley cask strength. There was supposed to be one locally. I went to that liquor store. They had no idea what I was talking about. And I actually had them bring their manager in and search their database. And they're like, yeah, I guess we sold that. I'm thinking, dang, somebody bought something and didn't even know what they had. Because that was the only one that Brooklady was showing that was in Kansas. So that would probably be the one that I really, really would like, because the Brooklady Port Charlotte Scottish barley's moving into number 1 and pushing out my Lafroig 10-year cask strength that I love.
Yeah, which is surprising. You've said that a few times, Bart, about the Port Charlotte Scottish barley moving in ahead of the I didn't think anything would ever beat out the Lafroig cask strength for you.
Yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. I'd say right now they're nose to nose. And then probably my shocker of 2016 was we were in a liquor store and found a bottle that had been sitting in there for 10 years, and it was the Brooklady 3D3, and it was probably the precursor for what the Port Charlotte came in. I don't know that for sure, but it just had a real light peat coming in, and it was like their beginning of, it wasn't heavily peated, but you could see where they were going. And you just can't even find that anywhere anymore. So that was a nice find, a lucky find.
Why don't you guys hit up Scott and Big Scott to get you guys some Tomatin? Have them send you over some nice bottles that you're looking for.
That would be great.
We don't know if Scott and Scott still have jobs.
Too much teabagging, I think. Talking about teabagging.
That's right. Yeah.
We better wait and see before we start asking for too much.
Yeah, we'll be like, hey, now send us this real rare bottle. And they'll be like, yeah, we'll send you some. We'll get a box full of tea bags.
I think Glengoyne has a tea version or something like that. So that would be interesting.
Yeah, fact is, a couple of comments came in earlier, and I thought it was people being funny. And no, it was. People are actually talking about having it and looking for it. So
I think it would be fitting.
It's good. I did talk to Jennifer from Tomatin. They either want us probably do another show later this year or early part of 2018. And then I definitely told them, if there's anything you want to get out with a splash of Dummy, let us know and we'll move you guys up, fit you in, whatever you want, just a little splash of Dummy. And then she did say, if Joanne McGinnis goes and watches this later, she says she wants to beat, or Tomatin wants to beat the number of viewers that that Joanne got, which I think is at like 1,095. And she said they're posting that video everywhere. And I noticed we're inching up toward 1,000 right now. So yeah, so that was kind of fun. That was a real fun time there to actually be able to kind of step right inside the distillery.
We Scott did mention that when the heavily peated Lefroy came out, we would be the first to know. Now that could be maybe they're just going to send us an email about it. I don't know.
You mean heavily peated Tomatin?
Yeah, what'd I say?
You said Lefroy, which sounded delicious.
Sorry. Yeah, no, sorry. Yes, Tomatin's heavily peated Scotch. There we go.
I did a couple extra creaks of the chair on that one, baby. A heavily peated Lefroy.
Isn't that synonymous?
Yeah, they'd be like double down on the peat. We're bringing even more peat. So no, that'll be good times. That'll be good times. Now, question back at you. One, do you have one that you're searching for? And then second part of that question, Rob, is what whiskey or what experience related to whiskey brought you into whiskey even as a hobby?
So, like I said earlier, I collected Canadian whiskey. Well, what started that was Canadian Club 20-year-old, and I really, really enjoyed it. And then 40 Creek was letting out their special editions once every year, and they came out with a Portwood edition, the first Portwood edition, and it knocked my socks off. So whiskey, found out some things about Canadian whiskey through research that I didn't like too much. One being that 9% of their whiskey can be any type of juice, any type of liquid for that matter. So kind of veered me away from Canadian whiskey and more into natural substances like bourbon and single malt Scotch. So that's that part of the question. But yeah, Canadian Club probably got me into then after that, just trying the Glenlivets. I really like the Glenlivets. They're a really good introduction. They're a really good introduction to Scotch, in my opinion, especially the 15-year-old. And then unicorn whiskey, affordable unicorn whiskey, probably I achieved getting it this year was the Glendronach 15-year-old Revival. That was sent to me by my buddy Chris in Alberta. And then the one that's probably not so affordable is the Macallan 25-year-old. I've been dying to try that. Haven't had the opportunity. Hope to review that one day.
Someone asked, it was Chris up above, Rob, if you've done the 25-year Highland Park.
I haven't had an opportunity to do the 25-year. Over here, it's pretty much ridiculously priced. It's $900 Canadian. I'm gonna be heading to Arizona over the March break. I'm a teacher, so pretty much can only travel at March break and during the summer. So I'm gonna go to Arizona and maybe pick up a couple bottles similar to that are way better priced in the US than they are in Canada.
A couple comments people have come in because we were talking about Tomatin. A couple people disappointed in the Tomatin 12. The Tomatin 12 is really, I mean, there's nothing special to it. It's not sherry influenced. It's not port influenced. I don't think there's really any, well, no, the 12 does have a little bit of a sherry finish, which I cannot pick up in it. It is just kind of a malt monster, if you ask me.
Well, it was.
Yeah, I really.
Yeah, go ahead, Ron. Go.
Bart, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're good. I mean, when we were first kind of drinking the 12, that was, if someone ever says, what do you guys mean when you say you get a grain, or a real grain flavor in there? I always tell them, go grab a Tomatin 12, and it'll really ground you in what that grain flavor is. Like Scott said, it's kind of grain forward. Do you agree, Rob?
Tomatin in general has a very unique grain influence on each of their expressions. As it gets a little bit older, you start to lose it a little bit on the 18. But the legacy I have behind me, I bought because you guys did the review on it with the Tomatin representatives. But the 12-year-old, for sure you get it. The 14-year-old port, you really get it as well. Honestly, it's too bad whoever said that doesn't like Tomatin 12, because I think price-wise, it's one of the best 12-year-old scotches, in my opinion.
Yeah, very much so.
I would agree, but if I was at the store and I was looking at them, I would probably buy the Legacy or the Dualcus, which is the same thing, just Dualcus in the United States, before I bought the 12. And it's cheaper than the 12-year-old.
Well, it's an NAS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Legacy, like you said, the Dualcus is it's $45 in Ontario, which is pretty much one of the best single malt prices you can get at the LCBO. The 12-year-old is about $54. So, I mean, for an extra $6-7, you're getting a 12-year-old whiskey. I haven't had the opportunity to try the Legacy just yet, but I don't know. If it's better, I trust you guys, because that's why I bought it. So we'll see, I guess.
Ooh, I just got my teeth kicked in again. Woo! Wow. Look at that. Goodness.
Daydreaming has asked what our thoughts are on travel retail only releases from distilleries. And I've never bought any, so I don't have any thoughts on them. I see other people with them.
Yeah, I just wish I could get a hold of them.
It's a little frustrating not to be able to get a hold of them. I did the Macallan Select Oak. That's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's any better than what's available here, like the Gold, the Amber, but it's a good whiskey.
Now, say I'm flying, do I have to have an international ticket to purchase? Or if you're just in an airport with a ticket, even if you're in Ontario and you're flying into Saskatchewan, can you go into the international, the duty-free shop and buy something?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I've never taken a flight anywhere within my own country. I've only ever taken flights to other countries, which is kind of strange. But I wouldn't be able to go to the duty free just because duty free is just when you're traveling to other countries. I'm assuming. I could be wrong. My brother's a customs agent. I should know this, but I don't.
Well, everybody in the comments is saying you do need an international ticket.
Yep. Which I've heard both, and I've never tried. I fly in the States all the time, and I didn't know. And I've heard both. I've heard you had to have an international ticket, and I've heard that as long as you had a ticket, you could buy it because the airport property basically is international.
Interesting.
But no, everybody's commenting that you do have to have an international ticket. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
We even got Foodquake saying you can't get duty free in Canada on a domestic flight. Period. Actually, ellipsis. Sorry.
And here we go again. Our show is turning educational, which we try not to do.
Well, I'm surrounded by it. I'm a teacher by day. I teach, I guess, on this YouTube channel, and then I'm also teaching Thai boxing at night. So, unfortunately, I'm always around education.
Very cool. Now, Sneerson or S. Neerson just said, hey, I'm from Saskatchewan. Well, I've also got a buddy from Regina that's in Saskatchewan. So, and he keeps saying he keeps wanting Scott and I to work our way north. He's also a huge board gamer, which is my other hobby.
I'm trying to remember what his name is. I know him.
So this is your friend from Regina, you said? That's a huge board gamer?
Yes, huge. Yeah, he actually was coming down to a big board game convention in Dallas that I usually go to, and he drove down with a buddy, and I was one of their waypoints where they stopped here, spent the night. I actually gave him a little 3-bottle whiskey tasting. He brought me some beer, actually brought me some Smokehead too, which was nice. And He's now turned into a huge whiskey fan, and he started running whiskey tastings up there as well.
We were in here earlier because Scott was looking for a movie quote. I think Ryan Reynolds says, and it's funny that guy's a board gamer because Regina rhymes with fun. So
yeah, yeah. I kept telling him, "Are you sure it's not Regina?" And he goes, "No, we call it Regina. That rhymes like." And I was like,
"Fun."
Yes. Well, I always call him by his like avatar name is Bixby, and now it's funny. I call him Bixby so much, but it's really his nickname, and now I'm blanking. Oddly enough, wow, it'll come to me later. I always call him Bixby, and now I'm forgetting his full real name.
I thought it was Matt, isn't it?
Oh, Matt Robertson, I believe. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. I think that's it. But Bixby, yeah, for years I knew him only as Bixby, and now that's the forefront. So, but yeah, I think you're right. He'll be pissed when he's like, "What? I'm sorry, Bix."
I was just scanning through the comments here, looking to see what was coming in. So I don't. Outside of a lot of comments about the international and the duty-free shopping, give us something else. Anybody else got any other questions?
Yeah, that was a good response there. Dead air.
Do you pick up any like how charred would you say the barrels are on this Glengoyne?
Wow, I don't, not very much. I don't think. Doesn't seem like. I finished my sample and poured my next dram. So unfortunately, I'm out of the Glengoyne 25.
I have a little bit left, so I was lucky enough to pour a second. Well, I think I'm actually on my third now, but I bought a mini, the second one. So, but when I first opened this, I noticed it was. I thought it was the smoke from the barrel that was kicking my ass on this whiskey, but maybe it was just the sharpness of the 48% because it's mellowed out a whole bunch now that it's 3/4 of the way done. So.
Well, we got a comment from Chris, and he's commenting he gets a light smoke note when he added a drop of water. I didn't notice it. The sherry and the oak, I was getting a good plum and raisin with it. Just those really nice dark sherry notes.
And then two things. Robert Hendricks says, wants to know, Rob, what did you say you do during the day, or what do you teach during the day? And then Bruno, you can cover the quote after Rob goes.
So in Ontario, basically, elementary school teachers teach pretty much every subject except French because there's designated French teachers for that. So I teach math, language, science, history, all of it to grade 7s and 8s.
Wow, cool.
Well, more power to you on that. I bet that's challenging at times.
Then you got it. I'm surprised.
It can be.
You haven't worked in some of the hand-to-hand stuff in class.
Yeah.
There's days I want to.
That's right.
Dan E. wants some Shakespeare quotes from us, Bard. I don't have any Shakespeare quotes.
We would need.
That's all Cousin Shane.
Yeah, we need Cousin Shane for that. He's the redneck poet.
We got a Macbeth right here. Maybe we can read from that later.
Very nice.
We're not reading from that. I'm just kidding.
You're good. Let's see. Robert said he wanted to know just because his wife is a principal. That's why he was curious. And then let's see. Someone wants you to run for president. Rob, is Rob for president?
That's probably my mom.
So we've got all kinds of stuff. We got Ontario Teaching Association is quite well off, I believe. Let's see. School teaching and Scotch are partners. Yes, I would say that would go well together.
That's for sure.
People think you need medals. Then there's chanting for Shane, who's our singing guest that shows up every once in a while on the show.
The voice.
He's amazing, I'm telling you. And then he'll break out literally, you know, Hamlet with a redneck accent, and yeah. And then he'll give you a sonnet that he can't look me in the face on while he's saying it. So
starts to blush a little.
yes.
Well, we Jake and or Shane had gone in. He's won many a karaoke contests.
Well, he's in a band as well.
And well, now, yeah, just within the last year or two, he became a lead singer with a local band. But he had been accused at one point. He was in a bar and won a karaoke contest and was accused of being a shill. Basically, that the management had hired him to come in this karaoke contest to bring in people, and then they wouldn't have to pay a real winner.
Now that's a gig right there, buddy.
You guys might get some credit for him being in a new band. Maybe you advertised for him a little bit.
Yeah, you bet. He advertises for us, you know. So when he gets rich, he buys us a bottle of whiskey or something.
That's right. We'll be his whiskey people that carry his bottles.
He'll buy you maybe a Macallan 25-year-old. You guys can
Yes. We'll go out and get everybody's unicorn whiskey. That'd be phenomenal. What else we got here?
Well, we're coming up. We're over an hour. Not too much over an hour and 7 minutes or so. We're doing good.
Got it.
Now, let's do touch real quick. Next Sunday, probably at the same time. I think we're going 10 p.m. Central, so a little bit later. But we're going to have Mark Gillespie on of Whiskey Cast. So we are still trying to decide what whiskey we will be tasting at that time, though. So stay tuned. We'll put it out on Twitter, and we'll do a little video on YouTube.
Yeah, that'll be great. Now, what is your quote in the background? I can't place it.
It's from a 1970s, late 70s Burt Reynolds movie.
Really? So it's got
What
to
does
be.
it say? I can't make it out in the picture here. What does it say?
Shall we start the examinations now, JJ?
It's got to be like Cannonball Run or something, right?
There you go. Jackpot.
There you go. That was good.
That was the drunken doctor that had played in a bunch of Western movies and stuff. I'm forgetting what his name is. Remember, he was always stumbling out of the ambulance, all messed up.
I've got to watch it again. I haven't watched it since I was like 16.
Yeah, I haven't watched it for a long time either. That'd be a good one to hit up again.
I'll have to do that. We got to do that. All right. Oh, yes. Tom Peebles says, try the old Granddad 114. Tom, stay tuned. In about, I don't know, what do you think? Is it about 3 weeks away? You're going to see a special one on that, Tom. We really give it a special treatment. So stay tuned for that one. 81 was when Cannonball Run came out. Very
was it 81? Okay. Well, yeah, late 70s, early 80s, somewhere in there. Now, I'll tell you, I switched from the Glengoyne 25, which was sent to us by Reverend Toma. I switched to my Glenfiddich 25-year-old, which he also sent us, bottled at 43%, it looks like. But we were just talking about the possible charring on that 25-year Glengoyne. And neat, that was one of the first things I got off of that Glenfiddich 25-year-old.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah, definitely some charring and some smoke in there from the oak. Very fruity as well, kind of that standard Glenfiddich light fruitiness.
Now, I got to ask you one other thing, Rob, because I always ask this. What is your favorite movie?
I say, well, I have two favorite movies for different reasons. Number one is Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm sure you guys have heard of it.
Sure.
And the other is Unbreakable. It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah.
More for personal reasons, but yeah, those are my two favorite movies.
Now, Unbreakable, Bruce Willis, I remember that one, and Samuel Jackson. That one was good. I did not think that much of the other one you mentioned.
Inception?
Yeah, Inception.
What did you like about it?
I just like the concept. I thought it was way out there. I love Christopher Nolan. I think he's a brilliant director. brilliant writer, and Leonardo DiCaprio is one of my favorite actors. I just thought it was really well written.
Cool. Very good.
Because that's the ones where they're dreaming, right? And they induce the dreams, and then it leads into other dreams and other dreams.
If you have an iPhone, ask Siri about it. She has a pretty interesting answer.
Oh, really?
She's like, that's the one, with the dream within the dream within the dream within the dream. It's pretty
Also, I haven't said it yet. I'm using coin 148.
Wow. There you go. See, that means he'll send that out, and then somebody can go watch this episode and see the coin live and in action.
See, I could have used one of those coins today. Who knows? The fly could have flown into my drink over here while we were talking.
That's right.
Should have got. Go buy a coin, people. Go buy a coin. You need these coins.
Sing it, brother. Sing it. All right. Well, I'm good on this. And Star Wars is our big movie. So.
Did you watch Rogue One?
Yes. Yes. Went on Christmas Eve. Took the whole family to go see it. My youngest, who's 7, that just digs Star Wars, he got lost, of course. It was a little bit heavier, a little bit longer. But I really, really enjoyed it. I almost hope, and I'm sure they won't do this, I almost hope they would do a twist and keep extending them backwards, like a reverse trilogy. I thought that'd be kind of cool if they could just keep going backwards in time.
That would be pretty cool. Rogue One was great. I really liked it.
Now, hopefully this isn't a spoiler because you should have seen it by now. If you haven't seen Rogue One, spoiler alert coming. If you haven't seen Rogue One, mute. I'll give you 2 seconds. 1, 2. I was disappointed they killed everybody off. They had so many good characters in there.
You can actually say everybody died.
They had so many good characters though that I thought, oh, they could be spinning these movies off of these characters that they introduced, and
that's why they got to spin it backwards, man. It's just like how it handed it off to episode 4. They've got to just continue to spool it backwards. It'll be beautiful.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Actually, I like that.
It'd be real cool if they kept showing, like, you get to see. I can't remember the guy's name, but the blind, the guy that's like force sensitive. You get to see why he's sitting out there and being kicked out of their temple and the whole background story, and take them all the way back. I don't know. It'd be cool. At least if they broke out and did some stuff showing each of their origins, which, you know, they may well do. I mean, this thing's going to run for years and years.
That's Crazy points out that the Vader scene at the end was amazing.
Oh, that was.
I was going to look up. We had a few more comments coming in about Old Granddad 114. If I can pull it up here, I'll give you when that should be coming out because we shot it. That's actually ways down the road.
Yeah, didn't you have it in September? We might need to move that. Or September. Not September. March. We
March
need to move that up. We might move that up a little bit.
March 8th.
All right. We might need to move that up. That one has to hit in the first quarter. So we're within the first quarter. But
why? How come that has to hit in the first quarter?
We have rules for that one. That one has some rules in it. It may have its own. Let's just say it's episode number 2. Should we say?
Part number 2? Yeah, part 2.
Yeah, maybe that's part 2. Oh,
Yep.
Someone's going to play that little section back right there, and they're going to figure out what you almost said.
Triple Cap pointed out he's got a nerd red alert going on us right now. We were talking Star Wars.
Yes. First,
we are whiskey reviewers, so obviously.
Yeah. Triple Cap. We're trading liquid, man. We're all drinking liquid and talking about it. Who does that? That's like a handshake with Star Wars right there, and superheroes is what that is, and board games. All right, Bruno.
Rob, what would you say has been your best whiskey so far?
My best whiskey so far? might have to be this this one right here. I'm going to be doing a review, a little bit of a spoiler for my subscribers, but it's the Ben Rick 1998. It's a 17-year-old. It's finished in Pedro Jimenez casks, or one single cask actually. It's 47.2%, unchill filtered, no added color, and it's triple distilled. So that's probably my best whiskey right now. This is pretty expensive. It's about $280, but I think it warrants the price. It's really nice.
Very nice. Looks delicious. Yeah, Sneerson's yelling nerds, nerds, nerds.
We're kind of super nerds, actually.
Yeah, like Uber nerds.
I don't know if you can see my bookshelf behind me, but it's pretty much all fantasy and sci-fi. So I'm a big nerd myself.
That's looking good. And Claire, you're on the right track, Claire. She's stating that she feels that maybe since her old granddad video was a grumpy old dummy, that maybe Granddad 114 will have a reemergence of some grumpy old men.
Now, you keep saying Claire's a she, and I think Claire's a he, and he just hasn't corrected you yet.
Yeah, come on there, Claire, because we know men named Claire, but we know women named Claire. And we don't mean it. We're not judging in any single way. You could be anything, Claire.
We will come on the show with the dunce cap on and the Graham idiot cap, and we will make it fresh.
It doesn't matter at all, Claire. Whatever you are, we're good with it. So we know we're just good with it. And I am the third. Does that help? Well,
yeah,
it probably does help. But in today's landscape, your mother could have been Claire the First. So, yeah, we're thinking.
No, wait. Okay, that's it. Claire, don't tell us.
Don't tell us, Claire. From now on, you're known as Claire the Third.
Claire the Third.
Claire the Third. You just achieved a nickname.
Non-gender specific.
That's right. Claire the Third. That is it. We've got Claire. Claire, you're now pigeonholed. You're a third. Third Claire might be it. We'll come up with something. That's perfect. You ready to scotch it, Bruno?
I suppose let's wrap it up. Rob, give out your Twitter handle and your YouTube channel there for people that don't know it.
Thank you guys very much for having me on. I really, really appreciate it. My Twitter handle is at whiskey_in_the_6. I'm at Whiskey in the 6 on YouTube, and I'm at Whiskey in the 6, just like that, on Instagram.
Yeah, in fact, is on Twitter, I didn't even put the underscores in there. I was looking for you earlier. I just put in Whiskey in the, and you popped right up. So.
Oh, okay. That works out perfectly then.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. And this one was kind of, we arranged at the last minute. So I know we had talked in the past and you had been available for a late show. So we had you in mind when we decided earlier to do this. And then Bart tried to get out of it because he'd been working in the yard or something all day.
I was trimming trees, baby. Trimming them.
And I said, it's too late. We've already tweeted it out. We've already Instagrammed it. We've already YouTubed it. We're on.
And then the Super Bowl went into overtime, and I was, my wife's yelling at me. I'm tucking in the son, carrying into bed. Your phone's ringing. I'm like, oh, let it ring.
I'm lucky. My son's 1.5, so he was in bed well before we started this.
Perfect. Mine was watching the game in the Super Bowls and then just turned off like a switch.
I pointed out mine are teenagers. I haven't even seen them for a few days. I don't know.
That's right.
They show up and eat once in a while, and
shower.
Sometimes.
That's right. Well,
look forward to.
Hey, okay, yeah. So thanks to everybody that joined in. Again, good turnout from everybody. Appreciate it.
Very good. It's been a good time. Scotch it, you Scotch gods.
Cilantro. Dummies.
Cheers.